Hey, we're live. I think we got some audio. Somebody say something.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Our levels are good. We're good.
Welcome.
Yay!
Excellent. How are we doing for audio? You'll have to let us
Audio.
know in the chat how our levels are. If
Yeah.
anybody is particularly quiet or particularly loud,
Yeah, I'm gonna do some levels
please,
on the fly.
yeah, please to keep us.
I'm
We
just gonna
kind of had
stare at
to,
our levels for a while we do intros.
yeah, we kind of had to rebuild the visuals. So, that I have noticed. Speaking of the visuals, that there is a certain baby Bjorn appearing on Oogna's avatar.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that kind of needs to be there. That's part of the
Yep.
character now.
It is. You'll have to like update other pets.
I do. I know. Okay, so I realized while I was building that we all have a pet now if you include Barb as a pet. Although I think in that
No,
case you're actually her pet.
no, I'm going to actually pose this to the chat right now before I even get into the stream intro. We are considering putting in some. There's kind of fun little plugins on OBS that you can add to make use of things like channel points and other like basically gamify a stream. And one of them that we've seen on other streams is the idea that you can like feed the pets. And that's where this idea came from. That we're like, well, Fetid has his pseudo dragon now, and Oogna has Trey, and Tromlin has his monkey, and Copernicus has a bucket.
And our new
So
overlay has a little space up at the top where Fetid is currently.
yeah, so we could have a thing where the audience is permitted to periodically feed the pets. So just putting that out there, just so you know, chat.
I'm still gonna
we are
work
happy
out
to take your
how to
feedback.
implement it, but I've got some good tutorials for that. So
So yeah, if people think that would be a fun idea, we are potentially gonna do that. Okay. I think everything is working now. Then I can go ahead. I will do it. All right. Hello, internet friends, webcomic fans. This is your friendly neighborhood dungeon biologist, once again welcoming you to an episode of Trash Heroes, another steaming helping of the Dungeons and Dragons stream, wherein we recount the epic adventures of this improbable collection of horrible creatures that we call the Trash Heroes. As always, our players are a group of wonderful internet cartoonists who have hilarious and otherwise amazing works that you can check out at all of the links that we have provided, both in the About section down below the stream, as well as in the box in your upper right. You can see everybody's social media links, as well as Patreons and websites. And please do check out everybody's work. We love your support. There is also a Patreon for the stream, which you can find a link to in the description below. And all that said, without further ado, let's meet the characters. As always, first up, it's the Keeper of the Vermin, Protector of the Trash Heap, Fetid Quaggle.
That's me.
Next up, the larger-than-life pit-fighting superstar that is Oogna Sugar Tusks.
bone crushing time.
And next up, there is our trickster cleric, rogue baker, and all-around party animal, Tromlin Darioles.
Hi.
And finally, our sweet old grandpa, who also happens to accidentally be an ancient warlock, Copernicus Sunshine.
Oh, you're muted.
Who's muted? Grandpa's having a little trouble with this
With the
online
technology, just a bit. There's so many buttons. I was like, the demons don't torment me. I torment the demons.
Literally true.
That is canonically accurate.
thing. Exactly. So, that said, when we last left our heroes, I will pick up with our previous recap. Last game, the party raided the mansion of the wealthy Lord Blackmont in the city of Karsh to rescue the gnome princess Penelope Pebblewick. Try saying that 5 times fast. Finding within the house a pocket fey realm containing a veritable labyrinth, which of course drew many memes from the movie Labyrinth. Tromlin got a little sidetracked, seducing a group of naiads. but the rest of the group found their way through the labyrinth to the menagerie and defeated various myconid and tortle guards, and jumping from various platforms in order to rescue the princess, who did not turn out to be in another castle. Taking their leave from the city, the party then journeyed on the good ship, the Yearling Sparrow, which we'll all recall made the Cressel run in under 12
I
parsnips.
goddamn hate you so much.
It's good. It's very good.
And accidentally released some cargo of vengeful fairies, which caused some hilarity to ensue. Fetid was temporarily transformed into a chicken. Oogna was temporarily shrunken to child size. And Copernicus was caused to confusedly attack his friends. But eventually, shenanigans were dealt with. The fairies were contained or sent on packing. And Copernicus contacted a terrible entity from beyond in order to narrow down the site of your quest.
And actually did. He didn't...
And
like...
did. For the first
Yeah.
time, managed not to go insane in the process.
I mean, the pixie things had helped him do that once already. He already met his daily quota.
of insanity. And of course, that quest is to locate the site of a crashed airship and recover its cargo. So now you have a much more narrow area to journey to. The group continued the journey south, having a series of encounters that we randomized. The three that we rolled were an encounter with a titanic storm battle between water elementals, a Loxodon merchant ship offering fantastic prices. I have written here that it was in fact Captain Ed's discount warship. His prices are so good, he's crazy. And finally, a pirate ghost vessel that Pernie infiltrated.
Oh, right.
Hello, fellow undead.
Right.
And convinced them not to attack the ship. So before I continue with the recap, we only really improv'd on that last one, the whole situation with the pirate ship, because Pernie was very keen on infiltrating.
I solved a problem instead of causing one. I think that counts as growth.
That is...
Arc, everybody.
Character arc.
So I'm curious if there's anything anyone wants to yes and onto these other two encounters.
I know I was going to go do the traveling merchant thing, because I had that bird I liberated from the house I lit on fire.
Oh yes, we did discuss you guys doing a little bit of selling. Is there anything in particular?
Probably open my character sheet, huh? That helps for a game.
Yeah, I've heard that. I might even open up my dice thing so I have some dice here. That's
What?
the thing that
You don't need
we
dice
do.
for Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
Dungeons
Come on.
and
Give us
Dragons.
all 20s. It's fine.
Yeah.
Forgot to ask, is it possible for me to appraise this bird?
Good.
What value is this bird?
Is it rare?
I think that it is relatively plausible.
I mean,
and I'm just
all birds are
double-checking-
priceless.
I am
One
just
way or the other.
checking what would be appropriate roles for such a thing.
It was in an interdimensional, heavily guarded menagerie.
So it's gotta be
I feel
kinda
like
rare.
people-
True.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Yeah.
Gonna have some sort of.
like this. This collector keeps their Pokemon cards in a binder, so you know they're worth something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe I want to keep it and have another pet. Because my monkey is more of a thing that it's not even really a real monkey. It's just kind of a spectral thing that pops.
Pair
in.
them, pair them together, and you have like Banjo.
Flying monkey.
You could basically have, you could do it. You could do it.
Monkey bird.
Strap it to the back of Trey, and now you actually have Banjo-Kazooie.
So I've never played that game. I don't know what the fuck it is. I just know there's a bear in it, and he has a friend who's a bird.
Yep.
Yep.
I think Tromlin.
Somewhere there's a treasure trove of terrifying porn.
Oh yeah.
Your profession is such that I think it makes good sense for me to give you a profession int roll for appraisal of this creature thing. You have the appropriate expertises.
All right.
It would potentially be a good assist for you if someone were skilled at Arcana, and willing to make a roll on Arcana?
Grandpa Pernie, can you help?
Good help.
I'd appreciate it.
So why don't you make me an Arcana check with your crazy plus 10?
I rolled a 4, so that's a 14, which is disappointing for Pernie.
Not super great. You do, however, also have, I just remembered, you have your special feat from your historian feat, your special trick, where you can roll a history check, DC 15, to give anyone a bonus to any skill check.
Nice.
I'll do that. I forgot that I could do that.
Yeah, I did too until I just looked at your sheet just now.
+1 int expertise, 8
Yeah.
+3 bonus with history. Oh, yeah. Good. All right.
So
Well, I'll
just
try an
roll a-
8 as well. I'll try and pull a random bird fact, historical bird fact out of my brain that somehow cracks this thing wide open.
Good.
14! Again.
Oh, one.
Sorry.
Nope.
Grandpa's just can't remember that there was something about a bird at the sack of Karsh 2,000 years. There was a bird at the sack of Karsh. I remember that.
Yeah.
That should help.
Man.
It's not fish,
Alright.
so it's not something you care about.
So it's a
Say
wisdom
bird.
saving throw, correct?
Yeah.
+5.
Yeah, so just straight up, yeah. It would-
Okay. 19.
19's pretty good. Yeah, I'll base your appraisal on that, and then let's make the actual barter rolls that you would make here, because this is your thing, right? This is your
Yeah.
persuasion versus his insight, and vice versa. So roll me your persuasion first, and I'll roll his insight.
I assume is that one of the skills I get? I'm so out of it. I'm so sorry.
Advantage on? I don't think you have advantage
Yeah, I
on it,
don't-
but you do have a ridiculous bonus.
+10, yes.
You have a plus 10.
Pretty ridiculous.
27.
That's a very good roll. Yeah, you beat his insight. His insight was pretty good. I got a dirty 20, but not that good. Now roll your insight, and I will roll his persuasion.
Okay.
Also pretty good.
Not quite as good. 22.
Okay, he's beat you there, so you're basically kind of canceling each other out. So you're going to end up with a fair price, basically. He tries to convince you to. He tries to talk it down, and you try to talk it up. And in the end, you're actually going to come to a pretty fair price for this. Is there anything in particular you're interested
Before I
in
sell the
getting
bird
your
off,
hands
I do
on?
want to try doing animal handling to see if there's anything I notice about the bird.
Ooh.
Probably wise.
Sure. Why don't you
Because
do that?
if I realize last minute, oh, this bird's pretty fucking awesome.
Can I help with that? I'll do an assist.
Sweet.
I'm learning more
Yeah,
about birds every day.
and that reminds me, I'm a friggin' ranger. Although
Yeah, you should-
I have a
you can
very
handle
low
him.
nature skill, so maybe I wouldn't know a lot about birds.
You do
Aside
have
from
the
which
ability
ones
to
taste good,
Which
which
is
is
all
all
of
of
them.
them.
talk to him. You can
Yeah,
ask him.
all birds are delicious. Actually, I bet penguins don't taste very good in real life, but
Oh, they probably taste pretty
otherwise-
nice. They got like a
I
little
don't know,
fishy, fatty flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fishy,
do
but
they have
like
blubber?
oily.
Do they have like how do they stay warm, penguins? I
Blubber.
feel like they must have,
Lots of
yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
They
they're
have
extremely
that.
fat.
They're
They
probably
have
like
significant like
seals. Like
Well,
the
depends
chicken
on
of seals.
Where you
seal
find
good?
the penguin.
Seal's
Not all-
delicious. Seal is maybe the finest meat I've ever tasted.
Nice.
I'd love to try some. Seafood.
It would probably, I would
I
imagine,
would
be
eat a
similar to
seal.
like duck, where it's a very oily meat.
Yeah.
Could be.
I love
So you can
that.
almost have it a little
duck
bit
is
medium
good.
rare, but
Ooh.
not quite.
Jeff is in the best position of all of us to try seal because
Yeah.
you can actually buy seal in restaurants in
Well,
Newfoundland.
go club one for us, buddy.
Oh.
I
I don't
imagine
think
that
that's
the restaurants
legal
have a
for
club your own seal
me to do.
policy.
I, as there's a part of my
Like,
life
I'm
where
sure
I would
I could probably like find a nice Mi'kmaq person who'd be willing to do that for me, but I'm pretty sure I am not allowed to harm a seal.
I'm sure you've got some Mi'kmaq readers. Just
Yeah,
be like,
probably.
yo,
I hope
anybody
so.
can hook me up.
Yo,
That said, the
hook me up
Mi'kmaq
with some
don't.
seal.
The Mi'kmaq
Oh.
don't club the baby seals
No.
either. That whole thing.
No,
is a
nobody
thing that
does.
People don't do.
No.
The club,
Yeah.
club your own seal thing. Maybe they could like go to a restaurant, but it's like a whack-a-mole.
Oh yeah.
It's like the lobster tank at the front, but instead it's a whack-a-mole, and they just stick the baby animals.
I want the
through.
one with the biggest, saddest eyes.
I want the one that knows the pain is coming.
Yep.
Anyway, animal handling.
Trash
Yes.
heroes.
Animals are delicious.
So, Jeff, I was
Yep.
going to say you don't have a great nature skill, but you can talk to animals. So you could theoretically.
You just talk to this
Hey,
bird.
bird. How much money are you worth?
That's what he
What's
is.
your
That's
deal?
what
What kind of bird are
we're
you?
worried about, like,
Yeah, explain
What-
yourself.
What tricks can before we sell you to this stranger?
Yeah.
What tricks can you do?
Uh-huh.
are you
That's
sentient?
literally okay. I am canonically asking the bird exactly that.
Okay. The bird is going to respond by sneering at you and saying,
Oh,
This bird's a
"I
dick.
am the most beautiful creature that ever existed."
I'm gonna turn to Trauma and say this bird says he's fucking delicious.
I look at the
Doesn't
bird.
understand that part, so he's preening himself.
I ask, ask him what he's best served with.
Okay. I'm gonna ask the bird. Give us one reason why we shouldn't cook and eat you.
Good. Succinct.
The bird will just shriek at you and give you just in bird speak, something I probably shouldn't say on stream, but in the real world, it comes out as like just shrieking and hissing at you, as the bird is like, "You're not worthy of even looking at my beautiful plumage."
All right. I am
I have
going
the most
to attempt to
beautiful
kill
voice.
the bird.
Bird's in a cage. First off, I'm holding.
Yeah, the bird is in like a little canary cage that Tromlin is currently holding.
That's great. It'll make it even easier to shoot it with an arrow.
No.
I'll call for an initiative roll on that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd rather you not kill this thing I'm trying to sell.
I'm not going to bother rolling initiative for the bird. It's kind of contained.
17.
Fuck.
Others may roll if you wish.
13.
What was the what does fuck actually mean in a numerical value? 11.
Oh no. Fetid with the quick draw.
13.
13. Okay, so Fetid, you are first.
Please don't
If
kill
you
me,
wish, you
bird.
may draw
I
and fire.
have.
I feel like if Tromlin doesn't want me to kill something, it's usually a good idea to listen to him. So
That's-
I'm just gonna I'm gonna keep the arrow aimed at the bird and be like, Tromlin, this bird is a fucking asshole.
I'm gonna quietly cast Death Ward on the bird.
Just in case.
I roll to see if I notice that.
Yep. I'm not.
Yeah, actually,
I'm trying to do it quietly, but I'm not particularly
just like-
good at quiet casting. Yeah.
Yeah, Death Ward, I believe. Do you have subtle spell as an option
I don't think so.
on your ring of spell?
Also, is it a touch?
No, I can do careful spell or distance spell.
Yeah, so you can do. If it is touch, you can spend a point for distance. It is touch, so you would need. It'll be real obvious unless you do distance spell. And
Okay.
turn the
I'll
touch into a
I'll
short
use
range.
up a point on that.
All right.
Okay. But
I
it
rolled
does have a verbal
a-
and somatic component, so you gotta make a roll to be surreptitious about this. I'm gonna call that a performance roll because it's not really stealth. It's trying to make the hand motions and vocalizations seem.
Yeah.
As you're
casual.
like-
I don't know, cast casual.
Yeah. Performance. All right.
And
Hey,
that'll be a
21.
Whoa.
Perception
Ah,
from Jeff.
piss.
So
Yeah,
casual.
that beats that beats my perception. Can I spend a inspiration to re-roll that?
You can if you would like to.
All right, I'm going to.
You're all full right now, so.
It's better, but still not good enough. Only an 18.
21. So Copernicus basically is like, Death Ward.
All right.
Don't die.
Well, that probably works out for the better because if Fetid had noticed that you had cast Death Ward on it,
He'd be
there would be
more
no
inclined
reason
to
for
shoot
me
it.
not to shoot it with an arrow. So now,
Exactly.
Wait, did I
since
notice?
I don't know, I'm gonna lower my bow.
Oh.
Do I
Like,
notice
seriously,
this?
You
this
can roll
bird
as well.
sucks.
Randy,
Perception?
you can. It's a 21. Was the performance that you need
perception
to
though, right?
exceed? Perception, yeah. You got a
I'm
pretty
at
decent-
20. A dirty 20.
Not quite.
I
So
know.
close.
Grandpa's too sneaky for all.
Oh yeah.
That's great. That's perfect. I'm gonna try to do something though. Can I intimidate this bird?
Good.
I mean, sort of. Remember that you can't speak to animals like Fetid is, so like it won't understand you.
But
You
Fetid
can like
will
kind of make
understand.
threatening motions at it.
I will happily try to help you intimidate this asshole bird.
You could try go through translation. What I would do
Can
is
you
I'd have
insight
Fetid make
the
the
bird?
intimidation roll, but with your advantage, you'd give him advantage.
Fair.
Because what I was thinking about doing was putting on a chopping block and pulling one of my butcher knives out.
Yeah, let's do it.
Talk, bird. Tell
But
us
my
everything.
other worry is that I pull it out of the cage,
It's just gonna fly away.
or it might have some powers and the cage is keeping it.
Yeah, I thought you
True.
meant like intimidate from out here. Yeah, if you open that cage door, you're probably likely to see it try and get out.
Yeah.
It does not seem to have its feathers clipped. It does seem to be.
Maybe
capable
we
of
can
flight.
make a fire and hold the cage over the fire.
I will put the cage down. I pull out a knife and a whetstone and start sharpening the knife right in front of the cage where the bird sees.
I imagine Oogna's been like sitting in the corner fussing with Trey, and she like look up and be like, what's going on? What are we doing with the bird?"
This bird sucks.
What I need to roll if I'm doing this to help.
Give me a second here. I was just going to set the stage here for Oogna. So you look up from Trey,
Yeah.
and what you see is the three of them standing nearby. Copernicus kind of like looking casual, and Fetid has like a drawn arrow.
This tiny cage.
It's the Legolas scene from the Two Towers where he's like, "Yeah, you'll die before your stroke fell." Except he's explaining to everybody else that this bird is an asshole. And Tromlin is like looking menacingly at the bird and like sharpening a knife. The bird
Good.
is preening as like, a bird that doesn't understand what those things are, for example.
I like that the thing that the bird did to Fetid was to think that it is beautiful. Like that
Yes,
is
correct.
its crime so far. That's
Yes.
the summary of its crimes.
But what a crime.
Man, an influencer, basically.
If you are explaining to the bird what Tromlin is getting at,
I am.
then you can make
Yes.
an intimidation roll with advantage because of
Well, that's
Tromlin.
good because my intimidation is a -1. So that's 14, and so that's a 13.
It's not terrible. I mean, it's a bird.
Birds are scared of
I think
most
at the very
things.
least, I'm just going to roll sort of like a vague. I'm going to get a charisma saving throw and call it a composure check on this bird to see how good it is at kind of keeping its cool. Not terrible, but not good. So the bird sort of like ruffles out its chest feathers, like offendedly, but you can tell the note in its voice from with your speak to animal spell that it's very, and of course immediately I can hear
Birds in the background.
trying to play the role for us.
Yes.
But yeah, you hear the note in its voice is it's like, oh, I'm not afraid of you. You can't fly.
Oh, is that what it takes? Okay.
Can you tell me that I can't?
All right.
Can you tell me this?
Yeah.
I will also say the Loxodon is kind of crazy Captain Eddie is kind of going.
What's going on here with this bird?
What's happening?
All right, the bird's been shit talking us.
bargaining.
This bird sucks.
I'm trying to sell the bird.
Yeah, Eddie is
I mean,
like,
he's
well,
very valuable, but he sucks.
I just remembered what I was trying to remember before about this bird. I was just in a spot in the brain. It came to. It has a miraculous property, actually. If you kill the bird, it resurrects itself. You could deal it a lethal blow, and magically it would survive. It is a property that is definitely innate to the bird and will not fade in 8 hours.
All right, I roll to attack the bird.
I am rolling the perception check of the Loxodon crew to see if anybody else noticed you cast this spell.
Oh yeah, I should probably roll deception also, or performance for lying.
Definitely gonna swindle this guy.
Roll, that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody has, as far as you can tell, no one has perceived you cast that spell.
Yeah.
And I'm not even giving Oogna a roll.
No,
Just
God,
cracking
no.
with the owlbear.
No.
12 on deception. Not my best lie.
That doesn't matter because I've rolled a 1 on the insight.
Hey.
Nice.
So
The other-
everybody is convinced that you were badly lying about that, except for the Loxodon.
Except for who it matters to.
I rolled a 15 to shoot the bird with my arrow.
That is sufficient. It does not
I
have a
hope you
big
don't
armor
miss because I'm
class
holding it.
sitting in here.
Your d6.
Don't worry
so long
about rolling
since
your
I made
damage because
damage.
I'm pretty sure your damage is more than enough.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to put Hunter's Mark on this thing.
Yeah, no, this bird is now my mortal enemy.
I don't just kill birds. I overkill.
This
them.
is becoming a theme with Fetid because the last
Uh-huh.
mortal
The goose.
enemy that he had was the goose.
Oh yeah.
In fairness, gooses suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
terrible.
These are the worst.
So that is 9 damage
That is
to this
sufficient
captive bird.
to explode this bird in a burst of feathers. As your arrow passes through its body.
Oh yeah, Randy Johnson, this bird.
And it's like this bird exploded worse than the one that hit Fabio in the face. There's a topical reference.
But does it?
It is an ex-bird.
But then
Tiny
as
for the
feathers
fjord.
settle,
There it is.
the feathers settle, and then sort of the bird is still there. So it sort of like perks up and just kind of ruffles its feathers out, looks at itself, goes back to preening, shrieks at Fetid some more.
Mhm.
Fetid, with your speak with animals still being on, the bird is like basically taunting you now. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't kill me.
Oh, I'll
I'm
do
gonna
it again.
I'm gonna wander away as far as I can to really get distance on the bird, like I'm mumbling to myself, and I might even start mumbling to myself before I do this, and then cast another death ward, like the last spell slide.
That was your plan.
Can I try to persuade the price up on this bird now?
Depending on what's about to
It's a
happen.
magic
you might.
bird.
If Fetid then just destroys the bird, then it's not going to work. But
No, I get what's going on now. My vendetta can be put on hold if we can hopefully sell this goddamn bird to some other sucker.
so make me another roll, Tromlin, on your insight. Or actually, no. You know what? I'm going to call this a disadvantage on his insight roll because you already rocked your persuasion to talk
Yeah.
up the bird. But I'm going to give him a second roll in his insight. So this is a lower roll. Yeah, you're like, see? Look at the magical properties of this amazing animal. The deathless bird. And he basically begrudgingly offers to increase his price.
It's a
Now-
pseudo phoenix. It kind of comes back from death.
Now, my question to you, Randy, is: what are you interested in, like barter? Are you interested in getting something for this? Because that's
I'm happy
his
to
primary
barter
angle.
if he has anything that looks worth having.
So,
Yeah, what do you
my
have that's
question
as
to
good as
you
an
is,
immortal bird?
what kind of a thing might you be interested in?
I've always had a soft spot for weird shit, so wondrous items are always my favorites.
He means
Okay.
he's a sexual deviant, and anything you have that lines up with that.
I'm gonna
he's very
fuck
pleased to look
that
at.
deck of many things.
The deck of many thongs.
No,
The dick of many thongs. There it is.
There you go. There you go.
we got there. We got there. Let's see here. Where's my wondrous items? He is willing to offer you. He has a pair of boots of false tracks.
Oh,
Those are cool.
He has a set of charlatans dice.
I assume those are basically like magically loaded dice.
Yes, magical cheating dice. He has a cloak of many fashions.
That's also cool.
What else has he got? Would he be willing? Oh, this is a very appropriate one for you. He has a Hayward's Handy Spice Pouch.
Done.
That's a good one. That's a
There you
very
go.
good one.
You want to go for that one?
Yeah.
Randy, Pernie sent you a private Pernie net message.
Okay. Let me go look. Let's see.
It's a PPM, a
Yeah.
private pretty message.
Pretty
I
private.
guess it didn't need to be sent privately. I just didn't want to interrupt while you were talking. But
Like, and if you want to try, yourself, just to prove that it, I offer him a knife to stab at the bird.
Honestly, he'll probably he'll be like, I'll take your word for it. We've seen the demonstrate. He's very squeamish about the knife.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I wish the bird and the Loxodon luck in their new life together. The fuck off this
Sounds
book.
good.
Okay. Paul, username reminds us that it is 1 year of stream as of today.
Yay!
Oh, wow.
It's the
Yay.
1 year anniversary.
Congrats.
Huzzay,
Thank
everyone.
you, everybody.
Nice.
1 year.
Okay. So there may be some other bartering. You guys bought. There's certainly some exotic foods that you could barter for and purchase here.
I imagine
Yeah.
Trey eats something he's not supposed to, and I barter something minor to make up for it.
I'm very down with that.
I've had to do. My dogs have pulled treats out of boxes at markets that I've then had to pay for.
Yep.
Yep.
I think I'll leave our little improv there, and I'll pick up with the recap. So the other major event, of course, was the storm battle between
Right.
sea elementals, which was quite exciting to go through. There's my notes. There we go. I had the right tab open. And so from here, you continued your journey through the nights, making it through the armada that was currently skirmishing with the Dragonborn Isles, and arrived at your destination. Basically, you were set down in the dead of night on the north side of the Silver River Delta, and then journeyed for a day upriver through the wild hills. And the following dawn saw you looking down on the great trade city of Santo Bianco,
Sweet.
which guards the Great North Road just before it enters the mighty mountain pass known as the Titan's Cleft, which has been closed to all traffic from the north.
I'm going to try to disguise myself for Get the City because I'm trying to be more mindful of what Shaylin told me.
Yep.
Yeah, well, let me set the stage for you guys here.
Okay.
So you're in the hills just looking down at the city. The city is on the south bank of the Great River, and then there are huge stone bridges going across the river to the north. And these bridges are closed because they're not currently, or at least they're guarded, because the roads northward are currently closed. You had heard rumor already previously that there are forces encamped in the Titan's Cleft to basically defend against any attempts to come down the road from the north. So you can't just sort of like walk into the city at all. Like you can't be, because you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be on the road. And I'll just remind you guys that your basic goals here, you had agreed to make contact with Don Emilio's friends, the Don Garfieldo, Don Esteban, and Doña Isabella, three of his business partners in this new venture to create a shipping company called Valkyrie. And you know from Don Emilio that Don Garfieldo has a home in Santo Bianco, and he agreed to send word ahead that you would be coming down, Pernie, and in order to secure assistance with your expedition. So your plan is to make contact with the Dons and get help setting up your expedition into the mountains now that you have a location.
I thought I was running a message to Don Garfieldo because there's no way to get word to him at all.
You so you were also supposed to be making contact with him to talk about your there was no way to get message to him other than like magic, which is, as you know, limited.
Okay.
Right? Like a message spell only has a few words.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
So he
I'm
can
coming
tell
with-
you, I have a friend coming to see you. Stop. Help him with thing. Stop.
The Maestro's also
Why am I
really
saying
bad with
stop? It
sending.
uses up my words.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sorry, that was Maestro versus. So, in Mud Hollow, that's Vittorio.
Yeah.
Vittorio, the Maestro was in Karsh.
Yeah. But sorry, the message that I'm running re business and shipping is from Mud Hollow for my cousin in Mud Hollow, and then the Maestro also separately contacted Don Garfieldo to say that I was coming, or
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
But Don Emilio would not have been able to just send a message for what he wants, because he wants you to explain your ideas for this business, because you had this whole dinner with Don Emilio, and he would have sent he could obviously translate that to a messenger that could be sent down, except he can't send a messenger down. And you said, well, I'm going there anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, cool. Okay. So I think that makes sense. So I'm pitching my idea, and I'm also, I think, dropping off a letter. And
No.
do I not have a letter at all from? I thought I had some kind of message from Mud Hollow to bring with me.
I think you just had a letter of introduction.
Oh.
One of the polls was whether you would be delivering a message, or you were doing a favor for the Maestro, but that favor ended up being that you have
we need to bug
magical devices to plant in the cathedral.
Okay.
To spy on the officials.
Was it just the cathedral, or was it like in as many places as we could?
Yeah, the cathedral is where the this is a theocracy, and it's run by the Holy Church of Juno. So the cathedral and the buildings therein would be relevant, but also whatever other seat of government type buildings there are that you could bug. The Maestro was happy for you to use your discretion.
Okay.
And he gave you a little sack of these magic.
Well, that's his mistake.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Our discretion is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Actually,
I should handle that.
Can I quickly
trust you
retcon?
implicitly.
Can I quickly retcon and plant one of those in the bird cage when we sell the bird? Because I just kind of want to find out what happens.
What's up with this Loxodon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
How many bugs do I have? Just so I
Wait,
know how
hold.
much-
There's a
Probably
problem with
not.
that. May I bring up something? It may be not that we can hear it. It may be that he can hear it, and
I
he
know.
will
Yeah,
know
yeah,
we
yeah.
planted the wrong place.
Yeah, I know. I would tell him I used one to bug a bird that I was very
There's
curious
probably
about.
less than a dozen, so I don't know
Less
if you
than a
want to.
Yeah, that's-
okay.
Yeah.
That's a precious. I wasn't quite sure. All right, that's fine. Okay, so then I will, I think, address the party to say we don't all need to go into Santo Bianco if we don't want to, but many hands make light work, and we need to plant some of these around the temple and any other sensitive government areas where we would trust my reckless mad cousin to steal state secrets. And then I also need to drop in on Don Garfieldo for a chat, and anyone can come along for any part of this. How do we want to do this?
I've got
I
two
can
ideas.
definitely help with the hiding of things.
As can I.
since I'm
That's-
pretty good at that sort of thing.
Same.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
should probably stick together. I mean, foreign cities and all. We don't know our way around. We could get lost real easy.
And if you want to, I assume this Don Garfieldo. I've heard
Oh.
of his appetite and his need to
Yes.
eat.
Yes.
If you want, I can disguise myself as your personal chef and try to impress him for you.
Whoa.
Oh, that I think would be most.
There's the thought.
Yes, he likes something that is not, but is similar to lasagna. Also, what day of the week is
That's
it?
his
Just so that we
name.
know what we're getting into.
Is
here.
it Monday?
Don Garfieldo de la Sonia.
Oh my God.
Let's randomize. What day of the week is it?
no.
Roll a d7.
Oh no.
It is a Friday.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a
we're
good
safe.
day. Yeah.
Got a couple days.
That's the opposite of Monday. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, I'm in love.
Auspicious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll also remind the audience since we jumped around in time a little bit there and went back and did the Loxodon merchant encounter. The last thing that we dealt with during the night as you did your trip through the hills was the hatching of the jade egg.
Yes.
So just to remind everybody that Fetid now has a tiny Chinese-style dragon that appears to be made out of
True.
like flawed brownish-green jade stone.
Isn't he really like
runs through the air.
glorpy?
I might
I
have
mean,
some filth on it.
I've been holding him, so yes.
Yeah. Isn't that his name? Didn't you call him Filth?
Yep.
Yep.
Good.
Fetid and filth. Oh my god.
So, should we each take a handful of the bugs then?
I think.
Well,
so.
wait. Question, not to be mean, but should Oogna be taking any? Because Oogna is not quite stealthy.
I mean, they're really small. I might squish one.
She can reach very high things, though. What if we need to put one on top of a shelf?
Well, then I will climb. I'm extremely good at that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Okay. And just to remind
Like-
you, these are not the edible kind of bug. So please,
Okay.
the maestro does not need to know the intimate nooks and crannies of your colon. Actually, he might.
Oh, it wouldn't make it that. It wouldn't make it that far.
In the sack that catches rocks.
Yeah.
If you need to get up
Or like
really high, you
I-
can just climb on my shoulder and I'll put you somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Like
we could get
tiny
you to throw
blasts.
one of us.
Yeah.
So I'll take a
Vast
handful.
clockwork bugs.
So I'll take a handful of those as well.
And how do we want
Mhm.
to approach the city? I can. We have grown in number to the point that I can no longer make us all invisible. So we'll need to do some sneaking.
I will just. I'm going to try to disguise myself as a personal chef. So what did?
So you just get like one of those poofy chef hats.
Well, actually, yes, that would help me hide my horns.
Yeah.
There you go.
We may want to decide how we're going to get into the city before we costume up, because if we have to like go through canals or go underwater or something, you probably don't want to be in like full costume yet.
I would probably be able to figure that out since I have the city secrets background.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. You
Good,
could,
good.
you could in fact, scout ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to do a little bit of reconnaissance and see what I see.
Like,
Okay,
there's still
so,
trade happening, right? People are allowed in and out of the city.
Not to the north, no.
Ah.
The roads are closed. So, so the city, as I was saying, is on the south banks. It is surrounded by a high white wall of what appears to be whitewashed, sun-baked clay or earth. It's basically like an adobe wall around the place, and the gates to the north basically open onto the huge stone bridge, or pair of bridges that extend across the river. The river is very wide, so there's basically been like a whole bunch of these big stone pillars sunken down. It's actually quite the feat of engineering. This is something you would think would be beyond, like if Karsh was built on the banks of a river like this, they'd have a ferry, because it'd be too much to do. But at some point, this is all like very Roman. So like a big Roman aqueduct type of a structure has been built across the river, and on one side of the river, there's a whole series of piers where boats coming down river can stop here, because boats cannot pass this point of the river because of the bridges. Only small boats can pass. So there's a lot of quays on either side of the bridges for ships to go in either direction. And there is a lot of activity at the gates, even this early. Like, it's basically early dawn. It's just sunrise, because of the ships moving. So there's trade, but it's boats moving further upriver to the east. Not much to the west, although there is some, because of course right now there is an armada out there like attacking the Dragonborn. So there's not, so much trade going that way as there is, some patrol boats and that sort of thing. South of the city, you can't see too well from where you are, but you're up high vantage enough you can kind of see beyond the city. There are roads stretching away along the south bank of the river to the east, and a couple different roads going south and southwest across the plains. Beyond the hills that you're on, this river is kind of at the feet of the hills. Beyond its huge, stretchy, open grasslands, mesas, and other sort of prairie-like landscape. And you do see, even though it's quite early, you do see some movement out on the plains of riders on horseback. You can see soldiers everywhere. There are a lot of soldiers on horseback riding, south around the area of the city, but also soldiers on the walls, soldiers at the gates. They all wear a kind of a basic blue and red uniform with a wide-brimmed hat to keep the sun out of their eyes, white sashes that denote their various ranks, and riding boots. They all tend to wear mustaches where you see humans, but there is a lot in the crowd here of tabaxi, as well as some Leonids, quite a few other races mixed in. But the tabaxi also tend, and Leonids also tend to have sculpted facial fur to go for the
Good.
The soldiers specifically
Do you wax your whiskers?
go for this. Yeah,
Yep.
go for this like
Nice.
mustachioed look. That's your description.
All right.
I think at this point, I'm actually, before we get into it, I'm going to call for the first poll. If that works for y'all.
I'll hide the stream.
Well, as always, ask my players to vacate the chat. We're going to have the first poll pop up in the chat here. I will ask my shadow DM to begin the poll. Message him as well, just in case he's not getting the audio. There we go. Okay, I see the poll is now live. So, as always, audience, it runs for about 10 minutes. Everybody gets one vote, but you can use your bits and channel points to vote more times so that you can get the result that you most prefer. So please do let me know which of these excellent options is going to be the thing that happens. Okay. So back to you guys. Any questions? Something I haven't described well that you would like to know?
How far is it across the river? Like it's not a swimmable length, I'm guessing. We'd need a boat or something.
Like some time would be involved. Like for example, if you were to swim under the bridge, even with quite a length, swimming from pillar to pillar is not that hard. At this point, the river is relatively slow, but quite broad. So yeah, it's probably like a good, like maybe even more than 500 yards across.
Was it Glorpa who had the water walk spell that one time?
Yeah.
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 The time we used me like a boat.
I could make us a blood boat if we had some blood. Does anyone have blood?
That might be conspicuous.
I mean, we all have blood.
Maybe. Yeah.
How much you got?
How much do you need?
A boat's worth.
Yeah,
This
that
is-
might not
this is
work.
gonna end
A
badly.
boatload.
A literal boatload.
Mhm. I mean, maybe it wouldn't take that much because it's really more about displacement than volume, but
What's the biggest creature we can summon? Like by blood volume specifically.
I feel like if we sail into the city on like a fucking cruise ship made of demon blood, we probably won't get a warm reception.
But I mean, the blood will just dissipate into the water when we're done with it. Like it's the perfect way to
That
help.
also
yeah, no,
will
it-
not make them thrilled.
Yeah, that's
So
we
your blood
could-
boat
Not the part
melted
I'm-
in our water.
We could sneak in, or we
No,
could
right.
try
It'll
and
track
swim
tracks.
to the south and then pretend that we were coming from somewhere in the south.
That's what I was thinking. Let's cross to the south and then come up. But
yeah.
blood boat was my idea for how to do
seems
that.
to make the most sense.
I mean, I could swim it and maybe carry somebody. Doesn't seem that
but,
far.
You just are worried that this will count as a bath.
Fair.
Valid worry.
Although, if that were true, I would probably be more inclined to undergo a bloodbath than a regular bath.
I can help with that.
It's been a while since we've had a good bloodbath.
So if it comes to like demons, you do in fact actually have the ability to summon a pretty significant sized creature in terms of blood, because
Made
you
of
have
blood.
the ability to summon certain demons.
Okay.
Obtaining the blood from said demon might require some effort,
I'm
Well-
sure it'd be
but
fine.
it's
We could go
possible.
hunting. There
My-
could be
my
like
suggestion-
deer.
My suggestion for Plan A is that we either kill something big and wild, or we summon and kill something big and demonic, and we take the blood boat across. Or we could swim. I mean, that sounds ridiculous to me when I say it as an option. That we would pick one of
Did
those.
I see any other potential ways in as I was doing my scouting?
Well, that was what I was going to ask. If you haven't done your scouting yet at this stage, but you can
I
certainly.
would like to, yes.
Yeah. So like, you can slip down along the sort of stonework of the underside of this bridge, and make your way with a successful athletic situation, and make your way down to the city and scout things out. You also
Alright.
have the option of waiting till nightfall. I had said that you were arriving by the dawn, but you could certainly wait till nightfall if you want to make it easier to get in.
I will pose that question to the rest of the party. See what y'all feel like doing. I'm happy either way.
I would like to secure the cargo sooner rather than later myself, and I believe in your
Okay.
abilities. So I think we could push. I think we could go during daylight or try during daylight.
Alright.
We can be real
Well,
sneaky.
why don't I go take
I-
a look and see what I can see?
I'll give you I know you don't really need invisibility because you're very stealthy, but if you're gonna be gone for a long rest anyway, and we're gonna chill here, I can give you an invisibility. It doesn't cost me nothing.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. It'll be fun.
If you're willing to do that, you have another option too, because you can see through the eyes of your new familiar.
Oh.
Oh
which
yeah,
can
that's
fly.
right.
Oh yeah,
Come
I
here,
can also make
Filth.
you both fly too.
Can Filth already fly? I can't
I
remember.
think so. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Filth has actually got a much faster fly speed than walking speed.
All right, cool. Yeah, in that
Has a
case, I think
15 walking speed and a where is it here? And a 60
Ooh,
fly speed.
all right.
that's fast.
Let's make my horrible little son invisible and send him to fly around the city and see what he sees.
Oh, and I just realized I'm looking at Filth's character sheet that Filth also can equally work below or above water.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Filth can
So
also
you could just ride him.
swim and
No, he's too
He's
small
little.
for that.
tiny
He's like a
sized
little guy.
creature, so no.
Yeah.
That would fuck his little butterfly wings up.
He has no wings. In fact, I
Okay.
originally described him as having butterfly
He
wings.
just sort of
but then I
levitates,
remembered he
it's
was supposed to
weird.
be an Asian dragon.
Mm.
So
But like a
does
real
that swing
filthy,
through the air.
awful Asian
Yeah,
dragon.
a real gross one. I mean,
Sure. So you can then so you can basically with a wave of the hand, Copernicus renders Filth the Jade Dragon invisible, and then you can share your senses with Filth
Excellent.
within like I think it's miles.
I think it's really funny that because you obviously don't smell yourself because you get used to your own smell, but if you're
Yeah.
smelling through each other's senses, you now have to smell what the other smells like, and I just think that's fucking hilarious.
pretty good. It's a good thing that I enjoy
Yeah.
that smells because
Good.
Yeah,
filth
it is.
does not
Oh,
smell
I need
particularly
paper.
good.
I just came up with a filth idea. Hang on.
Oh no! This is what happens when you run a game for artists. I'll remind the audience that we are over halfway through our. In fact, we're almost 3/4 of the way through our poll, so keep them coming. I can see that we have a clear leader at the moment, but who knows at this stage. Keep those votes rolling in. I'm very keen on this particular poll to see what's, and this is going to come up fairly soon, so I want to see the results.
It's never good when the DM is excited about
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
So you send in invisible filth, who can go underwater, above the city entirely, and scout things out quite thoroughly. And as long as you're within a mile, which you are, you can see through filth's senses. And even if you're not within a mile, you have the ability to use your beast sense spell on some random bird in the area and get an even greater distance. So between you and filth, you can quite easily scout out the place. You would feel that there's a couple of avenues of attack here. There are sewerways under the city that basically dump into the riverbank because that's what they did in medieval times. The big trick is basically the approach. You could either, as you've already discussed, try and swim, like perhaps in the night, or otherwise find a way to cross the bridge. The alternative would be to go some distance up or downstream and cross the river separately, like either by swimming or with a raft or something, and then approach the city from the south. On the south side, there's lots and lots of ways to slip the city. There's multiple gates to the south, 3 major roads, each of which with its own separate big guarded gate. But around those gates, there are like sluiceways, and you're pretty sure your people will have a presence here. And in fact, make me an investigation roll, and we'll see how.
Well, there's the first unnecessary natural 20 of the night.
Awesome.
Hey.
Excellent. I'll make a note of it and tally on my sheet. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so in that case, yeah, you definitely spot some of your people and signs of your people making ways in and out. It seems that most of the quaggles here are ratkin. So you see a number of ratkin wearing wide-brimmed hats and kerchiefs to keep the sun off their neck. They tend to hang around in groups. As the sun is rising, they're actually pretty active right now, and you kind of get the feeling like this is probably one of those situations, one of those places where people relax in the heat of the day and hide, and so dawn and dusk are kind of important times to get shit done. So you see little packs or groups of little peasant quaggles back and forthing.
I'm gonna relay all of this to the party and see what y'all want to do. It seems like attempting to swim across from the north will definitely be the fastest, but that also does seem like far and away the riskiest plan in terms of both the challenge of doing it and the potential repercussions if we get caught.
Yeah, and I will say that you do see frequently groups of soldiers will come and go up the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems to be the extent of the traffic. So any kind of disguise from the north would be that's basically the only option. You're disguising as soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, with this group may be kind of weird.
Yeah, you could do it. Tromlin could probably do it.
Yeah, you could just
I
not
don't
be
know about
seen.
me and Pernie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pernie, are there grandpa soldiers? Is that a thing? I don't know a lot about the army.
What would my historian brain know about?
Ibetian soldiers.
Yeah, centurions who really earned the century part of the name.
Oh man,
You would
Bicenturians.
You would be leaning towards the multiple people in a trench coat type of area for
Situation.
that sort of disguise. Yeah, you feel like, yeah, if it was me in an outfit that also included Fetid and maybe Tromlin.
Also, there's probably no way that we can get Trey in that way.
I have to tell you, I was
Sure they would notice.
strongly considering your pitch of all of us piling into a trench coat. I was just like, that actually, to me, sounded like the beginnings of a good plan.
On top of Oogna.
I guess it depends on who's making the performance and persuasion rolls, right?
Okay, so hold on. With pets that can't vanish or be like hidden away in a coat or something, how many people would need invisibility if we did Tromlin and Oogna as soldiers? I think I can invisible 3 people.
I'd be comfy
Yeah.
just stealthing my way in. I'm
Yeah, or-
so sneaky
That's what you
and
do.
so acrobatic
Yeah.
and I can also
fit in a
pass without
backpack.
traces, so that's another 10 stealth on top of everything else.
I could probably fit in Oogna's backpack, and
Probably.
I
Have
don't
you
need
tried
to
that
breathe.
yet?
I don't need to
Surprised.
breathe,
Just
so-
stick you in my backpack.
You'd be a little
Yeah.
like conspicuous, like you're not like super tiny, but like Oogna's huge, so
Yeah.
no problem with Oogna.
Especially if we
carrying.
were doing some distraction on top of that.
So yeah, I wonder, like, what if you like captured Trey? You were sent out on a mission. You captured Trey. You're bringing Trey back on the orders of some made-up person who wanted an owl bear for entertainment. That sounds like some weird Roman shit right there.
Well, if we want me to
Um,
lie, though, I'm not real good at that. I get all flustered, and I just...
Oh, Tromlin can do the lying, and you can just do the holding Trey.
I can do
And
that.
then we can do it all through good old-fashioned not telling the truth. No magic.
So just remind me here. Sorry, are you talking about the soldier disguising type thing, or are you talking about
Yeah.
flying or swimming or whatever, getting over the river and disguising on the other side?
So I was saying
Right now we're talking about trying to waltz in as soldiers and or sneaky people, I think.
that is a dirty looking,
Oh my God.
greasy looking,
Bill.
dirty looking
He
dragon.
doesn't need to look like
I
that if you
love
don't
him.
want him to, but I just
My
saw this
beautiful, my beautiful son.
this
No,
real
it's
good dirt
perfect.
boy.
He's a proud
I want
father.
to get that tattooed on my back.
Just like,
We could-
just the
we could-
swampest looking Asian dragon.
Uh-huh. Oh
could-
man,
we could draw that in the
cube
filth on
dash,
your body.
Perfect.
We could
Good.
wash
Mhm.
that into your body.
Good.
We need to scan that during
So
the break.
good.
Yup.
It's so good.
Is the poll over?
Okay. So,
Can I look at the chat?
are you? Yes. Sorry. Yes. You
Okay,
can.
cool.
We in fact also pushed the chat up to get everything,
Yay!
all the discussion out of the way,
Good little Slurpee boy.
so no one gets any spoilers.
Amazing.
It sounds like you've got 2 major options then at this point. You're talking about disguising yourselves as soldiers, or maybe even jumping some soldiers and coming back as them, or getting across the river a little further upstream or downstream, just out of sight of the city, and
then walking back.
and then coming up from the south, and maybe just going in through the sewerways.
I'm good to do sewers too. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't breathe. So if that's straightforward, then we could just do sewers.
What is your preference?
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
a swimming one. I like a swim.
Yeah, but you're also very strong and athletic.
That's true. I can carry one of you.
Flip to that
You
is
have-
you might
you
have
do have
harder time
multiple
going
weapons.
through sewers because you're very
That's
big.
true.
Yeah.
I might be able just to walk into the city though.
So we want to split the party.
No.
Okay. I think my
Really?
vote's my vote is for sewers, and then after that it's for blood boat / swim.
I mean, you know me, I'm always in favor of a good sewer expedition.
That's
I
true.
personally also prefer sewers in general. It's easier.
We could
You could
always.
actually-
Sewers.
You could actually fly the group over the river too.
Oh yeah.
I'm just double checking your level of like how much that would require of you.
I think I could do 3 people with fly, and then Oogna could swim.
Yeah, I could swim. And I can stick
Yeah.
Trey on my back.
But you have like, yeah, I was just gonna say you like 3 people is probably enough,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just 1 fly spell, right? Or is that 2 fly spells?
I think that's 1. I was hoping not to like burn all my spell slots and then have to rest, but
I think 1 fly spell, because the thing is, some of you are carryable.
True.
that's true.
Like definitely no, Oogna would not exceed any fly spell weight limits by bringing fetid,
Oh yeah, that's right. I think we've done that before
Or-
too.
or at least
Sounds familiar.
have
Where you
say,
were like-
Oogna bring,
We shoved you in my backpack and then I flew somewhere.
or Oogna has Trey and Fetid rides Tromlin or what have
Yeah.
you. I think flight is definitely doable.
Okay, so fly, I can do 2 targets as a base, or I can do blood magic to do 3 targets, which I don't mind. Blood is meant for spending, so yeah. So I can get 3 of us, and then Oogna can swim. I think we're all good.
I can do that, no problem.
Yeah, if you carry
Okay.
Trey, then we're all good.
All right then. So so what happens then is Fetid, having scouted the whole area, has very very much taken care to note where all of the pathways and byways through the hills that you've just come through are, and very easily chooses a location that will be ideal to lead you to the water's edge, in a gully between hills that has a stream running down, so you can be safely out of sight of the city itself, and then fly low over the calm river. You're far enough inland at Santo Bianco that the delta gives way. Santo Bianco basically sits at the point about a day's ride up or a day's walk upriver, at the point where the delta is all fresh water and it's not mixing with any salt. So at that particular point, you can cross pretty easily. I will maybe get a set of stealth rolls, but I'm assuming that Fetid leading you here is going to include getting a pass without trace going.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 17, so... Or I rolled a 12 and have a 17.
That's a
I had
27.
a 20 on that, or a 10 on that.
Oh, for stealth?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
20 with the bonus.
Nice.
28.
Okay, so yeah, you're very cautious to stay out of sight of, unless there's someone in the highest tower of the city, which by the way would be the cathedral, the citadel, as it's called, in the center. Unless there's someone at the very top with the sharpest of eyes.
I dress Trey up in my little frog suit and put him on my back, and then he's just a frog on a log, and we paddle along.
Perfect.
So you have a fly spell cast on you, but you're still going through the water.
No, I thought
No,
everyone else is...
Oh,
Yeah, I used it up on everyone else, so Oogna's got to swim.
yeah, but I am just a lily pad for this frog baby.
I would argue you don't have to swim, because you don't have to cast one on Fetid because he can ride somebody. But
Okay.
is all good. Either way, you cross the river and find yourself on the south side of the river, where there is a road, a very narrow but paved with stones road out towards the sea, which you'll of course realize that's because that's where the lighthouse was that you passed. So this is the road out to the lighthouse. So basically a road for the military only. But this road heads towards the city, and you can easily make your way onto the other road. In fact, this road probably joins with one of the merchant roads from the southwest up to the city. So what was the plan here? You're going to take advantage of Fetid's familiarity with the sewerways to slip in, or do you want to brazen through the gates? This side of the city is not closed to
Right.
merchant traffic.
I think we can just head in, right?
Yeah, if it's not closed, to make it easier,
Yeah.
because then we get stopped later on. Like, how are you here?
If you're the sort of noble and Tromlin's your chef, I'm your bodyguard, and Fetid kind of stays out of sight, it's probably all we need.
Yep.
Fetid could be the pet.
I'm just a raccoon. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
But what
Cool.
what
You can just
are
sit in
you
my
making any
backpack.
efforts to?
Disguise.
Yes,
Are
I guess
you
I can
disguising
don
yourselves,
our
or you-
disguises.
Are you openly carrying Trey? Is another good question.
It's open carry legally.
Open carry owlbears.
Arms.
I leave that up to Oogna, but I think for Tromlin, I would
is
rather,
disguised.
just because you often need to lead the persuasion rolls, and it's weirder for a hired chef to do that. What if you're a celebrity chef that I'm
Oh,
traveling
good.
with?
Oh, good.
And then you can be in a bit more of an active negotiating role. It's less weird for you to like suddenly step in and take over negotiations when I am bungling.
All right. I guess I'll do some disguise. It'd be a deception roll. Disguise.
Yep, the usual. Are you going for more of the? Are you going to be the BAM celebrity chef, or are you going to be more the yelling at people that things are rotten?
Those are the only two choices.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, those are the only.
I think I'll go with Bam. I don't feel like being mean to people. I say that now. 10 minutes from now, tell everyone to fuck themselves.
Yep.
I guess you could do the Nigella Lawson route and just be like very sensually into food.
Yes.
Just like
I guess that's a third option. I was going to say the BAM one kind of covers all of your Rachel Ray's. Anything with a catchphrase. It's like, just shout.
Okay.
Yamo, Evu, BAM, kick it up notch.
That's a 26.
Ooh.
Excellent. And that is to disguise yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
I can disguise someone else.
fancied up a little.
Yeah, you might need to help me with Trey. I'm like trying to drape a cloak over him, and he just keeps batting it off. I'm like, no, hold still.
Do they allow like people to bring their pets into the town?
You don't know.
They do if you're celebrities.
That's true.
You feel like you could probably reverse. So Oogna has designed this baby Bjorn that is basically straps with the thing in the front.
Well, I was thinking maybe like a pet dog or something like that, like a fancy dog.
That would be a harder disguise, although magic might make that plausible.
Should glue some wool to him and he's a sheep.
You feel
What
that
if-
you could
oh,
probably
no.
disguise the baby Bjorn as a backpack. You think
No.
you could make a backpack out of it.
What if the celebrity meal we're preparing is cooking owlbear, and this is
No.
you
Too many
could
ways that goes wrong. We're not doing that, and I don't want him to know later in life. Hey, Trauma tried to cook me once.
Mm-hmm.
no. Tromlin just convinced some guards he was gonna cook you.
No. I will try to disguise as Bjorn
Oogna's
into a
face
backpack.
when you suggest that dissuades you of that idea, like immediately.
We're all meat or blood in the end, but all right.
21.
So this is for you're doing the backpack?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to sort of take the blanket that Oogna has and fasten and stitch it together so it can look like wrapped around the baby Bjorn. It looks like a backpack.
Good.
And
I'm
then,
just carrying some luggage.
yeah, and then Trey can be basically swaddled into it so he isn't too visible.
Would a sleep spell or like a heavy mayonnaise feeding be helpful for making sure
Probably.
that Trey stays napping with the blanket over his head?
Probably.
Yeah, or even just animal handling rolls from Oogna, but of course that's less likely to
I can
take than
give it a
sleep spell.
shot. And if it doesn't work, we can hit him with some sleep.
Yeah.
One swift punch to the back of his head.
Well, that's
Can't snap
a
all your
kind of
problems.
blue
that's
away.
a 14. So that's a 14.
I am in Siren Land right now. I hope you can't hear all of that.
I heard nothing, so.
Okay, so sorry, what did you end up rolling?
14 for animal handling.
14. So
It's not great. He's
it's
still a little
okay.
wiggly.
He's not super happy about being swaddled, but you managed to bundle him up. But you feel like he's gonna probably like continue to like
He may go.
wiggle his head out or like make little peeps. Well, the thing is, you cover his head. He's an owlbear, right?
Yeah,
you
it's
cover
true.
his head. He's like, oh, sleep, I guess.
But he'll make little chirps because he's sleepy.
Yeah.
Little
you
sleepy
might have
chirps.
Any further disguising? I'm assuming that Fetid is going to just keep his.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be sneaky.
You can you're still within the time frame of concentrating on your pass without trace, so you can just make a stealth roll to slip in with the rest of the group.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a 30 something. I think I'm good.
Tromlin, can you make me look like your agent?
Try.
I'm the one who booked you with Don Garfieldo. I have a letter of introduction.
Just put sunglasses on.
Double it, and we
I
want
like
9
that.
points on the back end. I don't know what we're talking about, but
23?
always relevant.
23. I'm rolling decent today, which makes me nervous, like when that one's coming up.
All
But
right,
it matters
so,
most, obviously.
Okay, so you guys in your set of disguises now make your way up to make your way up to the gates. So the guards at the gates, there's a bit, as you arrive at the gates, there's a bit of a discussion going on. There's a group of guards standing all in a row, holding their long spears at attention. And they all have like these very stylistic rounded shields. These are, like think of the shields that Romans used to make their formations, those kind of shields, and then they have very long pikes, long spears as well. And then there is a leader on horseback who's a very large, fat soldier, a fat Leonid, with the huge drooping, sculpted mustaches into his facial mane, and he is arguing with some of these other guards and berating them.
Could we do a little eavesdropping on what the nature of the conflict is?
Yeah, it sounds like he's, it amid the sort of like, stupido, why I do not have you whipped at the post is beyond me, and all that sort of thing. You get the impression that some guards were either sleeping or like gambling. Loafing is the word that he uses, but like not being as attentive as they should be at the gate. And
Tabaxi loved
one
the
of the
loaf.
guards, yeah, the guards are basically like keeping their mouths shut, but one of them who seems to be sort of more peripherally involved is sort of entreating the Capitan to that it is not their fault. They did not know that there would be more soldiers coming from the south. They were being they thought it was only merchants, and he refers to the Capitan as Capitan Garcia.
I'm going to interrupt them very presumptively and like snap and be like, "Oh, excuse me, we're in a bit of a hurry. We've been summoned by Don Garfieldo. I'm a representative of. I'm sure you've heard of celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, and I just need directions to
God.
Don Garfieldo's home as soon as you can, and then I'll leave you to it."
What's the Spanish version of Gordon?
Gordo.
Gordo.
Gordo Randy.
Fat Randy. This is not incorrect. Gordo Randy. Gordito.
Gordito.
Gordito. There we go. Little Gordon.
Yeah.
That is not what that means. That means a little fatty.
Yeah. We can pretend. Okay.
Guillermo.
Yeah, you immediately
Medikiki
get their
says,
attention.
which is,
The Capitan sort of like whirls in his seat and looks down and says, "Yes, papers." And he thrusts his chin at the guard who had been speaking to him and trying to calm him down, and then turns in his saddle and rides, not like gallops, but rides normally back into the city, sort of realizing that there's civilians coming up, and he's like, "All right, I'll deal with you later." So with that, the group of guards here sort of visibly relax, and several of them move away. They kind of like obviously are going to whatever their posts are, and you're left with two of the lancers and the one sort of corporal or whatever who is in charge at the post, who says, yes, papers, please."
Right. I'm going to pull out the letter of introduction I have, which does not say that I'm an agent to a celebrity chef, but I'm just going to pull it out very as confidently as I can and be like, yes, but we really do have to be going.
Wish you had told me we would do this. I would have forged something
Yeah,
for
right.
us.
I didn't know we were going to need papers. None of us knew we needed
Also,
papers.
Oogna looks visibly uncomfortable when they ask for our papers.
The guard is like, this. Forgive me, Senor. This letter does not mention a time or place of meetings. Do you have anything more formal I see the seal of the great house. Very. I do not wish to.
I'm gonna move to block their view of Randy, or of Tronlin, so that Tronlin can start forging stuff on the fly. I'm like, wait, what kind of details would such a document entail? And I'll start taking notes as they talk, and I'll send it to Randy as like, forge this.
Well, he can hear. He's like not that far away. Why don't you roll me a? You know what? I'll let you roll me a persuasion. Because you're sort of trying
Oh
to
man,
talk
I have
her way
absolutely
in.
no
And
inspiration.
Randy, do you want to try and like quick forge something?
It's a bit deception roll.
No, it would be the tool roll. So it would be forgery kit. Probably, I would think. Normally wisdom, but for the speed thing, I might make it dex.
You've got a book full of noble house crests. If
Yeah.
you need to forge one.
Quick question.
You
So is
got
it
a
basically
signet
like a dexterity saving
Oh,
throw,
right.
or?
No, so a tool use is a stat plus proficiency bonus if you have proficiency with
Right.
that toolkit. So you
Yeah.
have a forger's kit, so you have the
Yeah.
materials you need, and that also means you have the proficiency roll. So this would be dex plus proficiency bonus. So I think which is 6 for you.
I mean, if you also want, I can turn into a persuasion roll, which is a +10, which is much better for me.
Well, right now I'm going to get a persuasion roll from Copernicus just because he started doing the talking.
I mean, I'll start trying it if I have to, but
So I have a +7, but I rolled a 7, so it's a 14, which is not my best. What's my do I okay, I'm out of inspiration.
It's okay because I rolled not great on his insight. Persuasion is usually contested. So in this case, I might give him a bonus based on the circumstance of his position here, but I don't. It's still not going to break 14. So you're at the very least you're keeping him sort of occupied. You're sort of like, well, but obviously, if I have a letter of introduction to come and speak with Don Garfieldo, then I'm going to come to his home, which is here. It doesn't have to say on the letter that I am coming to Santo Bianco, and then he'd be like, yes, Senor, but it is normally the case that we expect some kind of authorization from the church about these matters. There is a war on, and and
I'll go and roll my forgery at this point.
You're back and forthing. Sorry, did you need an inspiration?
No, I'm going to roll my forgery now.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you said re-roll. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just been like fucking around with my D30 to see if I can get better numbers. I'm very happy to have this back.
Actually, you know what?
But
I'm just looking up your god for the day because I will
Oh.
remind the audience that you're currently worshiping Dolos, the master of guile, deception, craftiness, and treachery.
Ooh.
And in fact, one of the southern gods who is locally known. So I'm going to give you advantage on this roll.
okay, cool then.
Nice.
Help us trick your own people.
Excellent.
Why not?
When in
okay.
When in Rome, grift the Romans.
So one of those would have been not great. We'll put that sad number over there. It was not a 1, but it was close.
And then you got a +6.
Yeah,
Total,
that would
so what's-
be a 24.
Excellent.
So, like,
So that is so yeah, you basically manage to write relatively quickly. Like you go for brief. So you write like a this document grants the audience with Don Garfieldo at Santo Bianco, and then you like make a like hard, impossible to read signature and forge a sigil. Make me a this is probably going to be a religion check, which is
Ooh.
I know not your thing.
no, it's not.
Despite being
You
a
being a
cleric.
cleric and all.
You have a +1.
Started off as a rogue.
Yep.
The cleric came later.
Yeah, much later.
Also, he's got like cheat cards, right? Like he's got like the religious, the holy symbol for each god on his
Oh, hey.
keychain.
What if you can you copy your holy symbol? Can you just do like a rubbing of it?
Well, you just heard that it's the church, like the Holy Church of Juno,
Oh.
that
Oh.
authorizes this stuff. So you know what the authority is. You just need to make the religion roll to kind of have some forgery that's reasonable of that church.
This is nerve wracking. My worst.
You got a +1.
Yeah. Huh. 13.
13 ain't terrible.
You
So
can
you
you can like present it to me to look at before I give it to them. If you want someone with a little more world knowledge to give it a quick like,
Yes.
"Oh, that looks like the
Yeah.
Church of Juno.
yeah,
like
with a
it.
13 you would probably be like, yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like it.
It's been a long journey.
Can I
Things that
can,
rubs.
Yeah.
can I basically do my historian intercession to give a +3 to that if I succeed at history and take a look at it while I'm passing it over, and I could do like a quick.
I would say no, because you don't have, there's no iteration. You don't have a chance to go, here, fix this.
Well, no, I would like take it and be like, oh, what do we have here? Like I'm going through the documents to see what it is, and then quickly do like a little touch up on the seal or the sigil or whatever. You know, like when you're at the border and everyone's passing their documents around and things are
Yeah,
shuffling.
the danger here is that you don't have the forgery
Yeah.
abilities. So the worry is that you would mess up the forgery in trying
I know,
to
yeah.
correct.
So Randy
the
doesn't know
look
what
of
it's
the
supposed to
seal.
look like, but he knows how to draw.
He knows how to
and I
make
don't
it
know how
look
to
like
draw, but I
someone
know what it's
else-
supposed to look like.
Like he makes it look like someone stamped this with an official stamp, and
Right,
you would
okay.
be like, add it.
That's
Oh, there's
fair.
you missed a little crown here. I'll scribble that
okay,
in my own blood, you know, which is not exactly.
All right. I take the point. All right,
Obvious forgery
let's-
is obvious.
Let's see how this goes.
Okay, so you pass it over. I'm gonna roll for how easily deceived this guy is in this case, and I think you beat him pretty soundly on the. So I'm gonna give him. I'm trying to decide if it's bad enough to give him disadvantage for being distracted.
Yes, please.
Yes, I think so. I can authoritatively and without
Distract
I think
someone.
that's the
evidence
funniest.
control, I think that's a good idea.
It doesn't
would make me
matter.
smile.
I didn't break 13,
Hey.
so even without disadvantage, he looks at it cursorily. I'm basically saying that because of your fast talk that you've been doing, you go, well, we do have this from the church, and you pass it over, and he glances at it and is like, that is all that I needed, Senor, to welcome to the city, Senor.
Thank God, get the fuck out of my
I need
face.
to take down your information, names,
Oh, of
names,
course.
please.
Yeah. So, Gordo Randy, celebrity chef. I am agent to the chef to the stars. I don't know the names of any culinary agents, so I'm gonna
Quick
call
Google.
myself.
You rolled me a decent deception. Actually, I think make me another deception check for how well you get through this section here. I think
All right.
you were doing persuasion before, and this is pure deception.
Oh, I'm gonna go with Bobby Flair for me.
Oh,
actually.
good.
Bobby Flair.
There we go.
Good.
That's a good one.
13.
Roberto.
Yeah, Roberto Flair.
What did you roll?
13.
Total?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
9 plus 4.
On your deception. Oh, I was looking at your history. I was like, I thought you had a +10. That's a terrible roll, but no.
That would be, yeah, impressive,
I was
actually.
thinking of Tromlin with the big deception.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's see if he has any suspicion over how slow
Roberto.
you're cranking these names out.
Well, now I know that Tromlin can crank out forgery documents on request, so all I'm gonna do is stall for time while he produces my ID.
He doesn't ask for ID, he just wants a list of names.
Yeah.
Papers, please.
He kind of gives you a look as you're like kind of slowly struggling to give him your own name.
It's only because I needed to think of a pun. If I was just thinking of a name, I could have done it.
Like it's gotta be good though.
Damn my love of wordplay.
So yeah, Tromlin, you definitely notice that there's some suspicion in this guard corporal here as your grandpa is trying to quickly give
May I
names.
attempt to speak up for deception then?
You can. You may indeed. I will let you supersede because
It,
you can certainly step in and be like, "Oh, enough! It's so and so, so and so," and throw and toss
yeah,
out
I
the
will
names.
step in and start throwing out names. Like,
Give me a
uh,
deception roll.
yeah. Alright, that's my thing.
Got an insight here of 14.
Okay. Good luck with that then, motherfucker. 29.
Yeah. You easily step in and like effortlessly jump into the role of obnoxious celebrity who is being impatient.
Randy. Flair. Point to, Fetid. Twinkles.
Fetid is being
Perfect.
hidden and not
He's
seen,
sneaky,
so you only
yeah.
Oh,
need
sorry.
one more.
I point to,
Oogna?
Oogna. Twinkles.
I look around like I'm like, what? Who? Me? Oh yeah. That's me.
You have to forgive my
I'll
handler,
nod.
sir. We have been on the road for a long time. It's very exhausting, and as you can tell by his age, things get a little addled.
I'm going to throw a
I
little
remember
bit of
back when these
flavor
roads
on
were
this.
just dirt.
I'm going to throw some
What was
flavor
that?
on this because Randy, you may not remember this, but Tromlin actually has Southron on his language list. So you
Yeah,
have
that's true. I
the
forgot.
you have the local common dialect.
Nice.
So I will just throw that out, local ding, like
Yeah.
and say in the language, forgive my handler. As you can tell, he's up there in years, addled, but he's very good at his job. But the road has taken a toll. He really needs to rest.
You do a great job of playing up the role of important person, and this you get the impression very quickly that this soldier is very used to being obsequious to important people. So he jumps right into that role and is like, welcome, welcome, excellent. Like he does this back and forth. Everybody else on the team here kind of stops and like watches like you're watching a play now because obsequious guy is going to be extra apologetic as he asks for the rest of the information he has to ask for. So he's like, but 1,000 pardons. There's only a few more things I have to ask you.
You're fine. You're fine. You're doing your job. I understand.
And so the location where you will be staying, and you've made the deception roll. You pull out of your ass like Casa de Lasagna. That sounds like what you would say. I don't know where
Garden of Olives.
Yeah.
place.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. The table
Burger
of bottomless bread.
Oh man.
Excellent. Anyone who's a
Olives are there.
Garfield fan will get that one from Randy.
Yeah.
It's far away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he takes down the place where you'll be staying, how long you're planning to stay. This definitely does strike you as like, okay, there's a lot of bureaucracy here.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to actually play with this a little bit since he's used to having to deal with
Sure.
obsequious people, be obsequious to people who feel they're better than him. I'm going to actually be nice to him
Aw.
and say, when he starts to apologize, look, I understand you're having a hard night. Your superior was taking things out on you. We've all been there at one point in our lives.
And he will play like now you're in the dance.
Mm-hmm.
So he will make apologies for Capitan Garcia.
Oh, no.
As well.
Oh, busy man, stressful.
The
it's hard
Capitan,
at
he is a great man,
Oh, I'm
sometimes during these conflicts that is happening, has everyone on edge. The men, of course, were distracted in their duties, but the Capitan only has our best interest and defense of the city at heart.
Of course, like a good father, he needs to be strict when he feels you his men are swaying from the path, and that's fine. He just wants the best for all of you. Make sure you all get home to your wives.
Of course, sir. And then he asks the next question, and so you get through without too much difficulty. You bullshit something when he asks for like a purpose of your visit. You make some stuff about like creating a great feast of food or something for Don Garfieldo. Um, you sort of like half remember what.
Also, probably
maestro-
research local cuisine if I'm a
Mm.
star chef. Because out of character, my spouse is a archivist librarian, and they are over a Mexican cookbook collection. So they
Ooh.
have a lot of star chefs come in all the time to research old recipes from the 1800s and 1700s. So I'm probably here to learn some more things to expand my culinary abilities.
Cool. There's one moment where you feel like things get a little hairy.
Mhm.
When uh, the guard says, but which one of you is this Copernicus? And you remember that the letter of introduction from the maestro
Yeah.
to Don Garfieldo specifically introduces
Copernicus.
his cousin
Yeah.
Copernicus.
Have you not ever heard of a trade name? I go by one
Yeah.
thing professionally and another thing besides him.
And
And a
he
third
is
name sexually.
he
You must
100%
understand-
accepts that with the
I explained to
fucking-
him, you must understand that at a certain level, when you are catering to certain level people, they don't just want chefs, they want a sideshow, they want, actors, they want theater. So we unfortunately are required to take on theatrical elements.
Of course, sir, of course. Everything appears to be in order then, Senor. Yeah, you literally doubled his frickin' roll with that deception roll. Like,
Nice.
I had a 14 insight, you had a 28 deception. He will believe whatever you tell him. So
Thank you, Gordo Randy. Thank you for doing the
As
line.
my satyr butthole unpuckers slowly.
and so you guys go through the gate. Fetid is waiting for you on the other side because he just slipped through a sewer entrance or something. Impatiently wondering what the fuck was taking you so long. And
I
yeah,
heard a lot of talking. I figured it was the usual things.
Mhm.
Fair.
they talk a lot.
Talky people gotta talk.
I don't know
I
yet.
mean,
if
I understand. You all can't wiggle through a sewer drain like I can, so it's fair.
I don't recall if I gave my disclaimer at the beginning of this. I did. I was talking about it before we went live, but I don't think I did.
No, you
But
didn't.
I just want to point out to anyone out there, I'm doing my best with Spanish accents, and of course, everyone can feel free to do terrible Canadian accents, and I will consider it fair play as I butcher everybody else's languages. It's no malice involved. Just from Canada. that's my excuse.
That's also
I'm not-
Canadian Mexican food in a nutshell, right there. No
Yes.
malice involved. at all.
No malice involved.
Mhm.
We're Canadian.
No
But it
malice
might not be
involved,
what you
but also often
expect.
no flavor.
Yeah.
Have I told you guys the story about how I ordered a chicken quesadilla and didn't specify that it needed to have cheese in it because I
Oh.
thought quesadilla, and it was just some chicken in
It's a
a
queso.
tortilla. Yeah.
Welcome
Damn
to
it.
Canada, Jeff.
Yep.
Was it
Um,
just chicken in tortillas?
Yep. It was just loose chicken and a soft tortilla.
When the last time I was in Canada, or the last time that I was in Toronto for a convention, and I was staying with my friend B, and their partner at the time, they took me to a restaurant in downtown Toronto that was like authentic Texan,
Oh dear.
Mm-mm.
and in the first minute, I was like, "Do you guys serve Dr. Pepper?" And like, no, like this is not authentic Texan. Every restaurant in Texas serves Dr. Pepper, and it just kind of went. Like, it wasn't bad food, but like this is okay. It's just not Texan. I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck's going on
Yeah.
here.
I tried to impress a Texan with Toronto barbecue once, and they were very nice to be like,
Oh.
"This isn't bad," but like,
It's not Texas.
Honestly, well, I mean, Texas barbecue is brisket, which is good. I mean, it's that's part of our Jewish heritage in Texas. It like affects kind of barbecue we have. I don't give a shit. Like barbecue's barbecue, fine. If I go to Canada, I want poutine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try
Yeah.
We get
Canadian
shit
things.
out here.
I want
You
to
wanna
try
try
the candies you guys have that we don't get.
You want Canadian things like South Asian food.
The only thing I
Mhm.
don't want is pizza.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Stay well away from that.
Fuck Like
Come
that's
visit me. We'll get some vegan donair wraps because it's 10 times better than the meat version.
like okay. I will eat
Shit.
pizza. Pizza's great if you're drunk. You're trying to come up. You're coming off being drunk. It'll soak that up real well.
It's also really cheap.
So
Oh,
Cheap
now
and
that
like
you have
dirt.
now that
like
you have
here
made
we
your way
want
into
a
the city,
bent toonie and an apology.
Mhm.
All right, there you go.
bend toonie. If you actually bend a toonie, the center pops out.
Does it?
Exactly.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
because they're two different metals.
I guess.
Things like
Yeah.
Canadian yen
You're not
piece.
supposed to do that. So you guys have made your way through the gates, and you find yourselves entering through. There's a throughway that goes right through the city. Obviously, during normal non-war times, this city is a huge trade hub, and the throughway goes all the way through to those big bridges in the north, opening wide into a marketplace, a huge plaza just south of the citadel, which of course is the cathedral. So you immediately come into a huge, not as crowded as it might be at certain times because of the closing of the North Road, but still a very busy area. There are cat faces everywhere, Tabaxi and Leonid being the majority here, but there's still plenty of humans, a smattering of dwarves and elves. Probably not very very few elves right now, considering that the seaways are currently closed down. But you know, a fairly typical fantasy mix of individuals. Just very heavy on the Southrons. Leonid and Tabaxi. You see a few Loxodons wandering around, turtles and lizard folk and others. And basically, just as you sort of start making your way into the plaza, Tromlin pretty much figuring, all right, the first thing we need to do is find out where Don Garfeldo's place is, so we're going to need to ask around. There is a shout that silences the crowd near you. And at this point, I'm going to send Alina an email.
Oh no. Oh
So
no.
Alina can share the picture
Oh
that
no.
Lar drew for me in advance.
Oh good.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness. I'm excited but terrified.
And the shout that you hear is a "Ho there, the Bone Crusher!"
God damn it!
How far are we from?
A disguising did not hide.
I look around like I'm trying to maybe there's someone else called the Bone Crusher here.
You know.
Oh no! Oh no!
As
Oh no!
three
Oh
people
no!
step out of the crowd, and the crowd just melts back around them, and people look awed.
Oh boy!
Three mighty luchadors.
Oh boy!
Oh god.
Uh,
Oh no.
out of the crowd. And if you could share that picture.
Oh,
for
there's
me,
a lot
thank you
going on
very
here.
much.
I love it.
And thank you
Holy
so
shit.
much, Lar. As they step forward, and each
Okay,
of
Oh,
them.
the little
How's one is
bird
King
guy.
Stark. One is the bird from Saluzami.
Is that Woody Woodpecker?
No, he's actually a Disney bird.
Yeah,
He was
he is.
in the Three
the-
Caballeros.
Three
Three
Caballeros.
Caballeros.
It's the
Yeah.
Are they the Three Caballeros lane?
And yes, the other one is from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
No.
Oh my god.
So they step forward, and the big shark one, who is one of the shark kin, a merfolk race or sub race.
Is that how you make sharkkin soup?
Well, I wouldn't say that to him. He might get pretty upset. As I'm just like rapidly trying to pull up all of my notes. 'cause
Oh,
I
that's
had
very
them
good.
open. I need my list of names. There we go. There we go. Okay, so as they step forward, the big shark one says, "I have heard much of the mighty Bone Crusher, champion of the North, and I, El Tiburon de la Muerte, would challenge you to a battle." At which point, he is cut off as the tiny Arakakra steps in front of him and holds up one wing. And makes a ridiculous Donald Duck woohoo noise, and his eyes kind of like go in counterclockwise circles, and he says, "No, it is I, Lariquan, who will have the honor of this battle." And then the third one steps in front of the others and goes, "No, it is I, El Carnicero Real, that will have an honor of a fight."
Oogna's looking around and gives Tromlin the I can't not kind of look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And then I will dramatically throw back my cowl and sweep aside my cloak. And be like, hey, I come into your city. Just as a guest, I'm not here to fight, but I won't say no to a challenge.
And so the crowd is now forming like a big circle around you. The rest of you, if you want, can easily fall back into the crowd. They're basically making the crowd around this standoff. So it's just up to you. If you stand close to Oogna, you'll be in the middle of the circle.
And I'm like now doing like the big hero pose, and I'm like, I don't know how you do things down here in the south, but back where I'm from, we usually have a pit for this, so so nobody gets hurt out in the crowds. How do you do things down here?
So there's like a chattering through the crowd. You guys can all hear as clearly the third one, El Carnicero Real, has the other two are sort of acquiescing and stepping back, and you can hear people, the butcher, this mighty one from the north. I don't know, but the butcher.
There's a suggestion in the chat that Fetid fights the bird, Oogna fights the shark, and I fight the butcher because I'm the blood guy. Fetid hates birds. I'm just saying I'm in for a 3v3. I would do a 3v3. I don't want to interrupt Robert Lane's plan this year, but I'll
tag team.
Do I get to be Bobby Heenan on the outside, handing people chairs and the refs are looking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as you were
Somebody's gonna watch Trey.
As you were speaking about this, about this lack of a ring, the crowd that has now made this space, people come swiftly out of the crowd and start setting up big poles that they're pounding into the ground and stringing a number of ropes, 3 ropes between, and making a big square around you. As the little Arakakra leaps over, and the giant Sharkkin steps easily over, leaving the third to stand there and kind of drool on himself a bit and finger the blade of his massive meat cleaver. And I think this is a good place to take a break.
All right, that means I can think of my introduction during the break.
And
if you want, I can act as your manager and do your intro.
If you want to, that'd be amazing.
You've got the disguise tattoo.
Hell yeah.
You can Bobby Heenan instantly.
Hell yeah.
You've seen the dwarf that we based on Bobby Heenan already.
Yep.
You can just disguise yourself him. So I will reveal to our players now that the chat chose which of the 3 was going to have the right to fight.
It's the butcher?
It's the butcher. It was the Laraquan was extremely ahead until the last minute in a sudden reversal. It was quite exciting.
I like that this is like 2 fighters with 2 brain cells to rub together. Having a fight.
You each bring one of the brain cells so that there can be a rub.
And for those who missed it, their names are the Death Shark, the Royal Butcher, and Laraquan, which of course is a ridiculous character from an old Disney movie.
Yep.
The 3 Caballeros.
Also, he was in Legend of the 3 Caballeros, which is an amazing cartoon.
An excellent remake /
really well done, which is not done by Disney's animation department, it's done by their gaming department.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's break time. So we will resume in about 10 minutes or so.
All right.
The excitement of a wrestling match.
We'll see you on Sunday.
Sunday!
We
See
rolled
ya.
it Friday.
10 minutes. In 10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10 minutes though.